Is the half price rental strategy worth it? The strategy where we rent to silver for only one day, play twice as much, and then wait a day in between to let our energy capture rate go back up. A lot of you have told me that this strategy works, so we're going to test it out by the numbers today and see if it's worthwhile. Hello everyone, my name is Luke and this is my Play to Earn channel where you guys watch me in my Play to Earn gaming journey, and it's another Splinterlands video. Again, this is my favorite NFT game right now and it is exploding in growth, so we're going to continue to cover Splinterlands. And today we are talking about a strategy that someone mentioned to me in a live stream. A lot of people have mentioned this to me, so sorry I can't remember the first person that referenced this. It's the strategy though, because of rental prices being so crazy. The thought is, let us rent to silver for only one day, instead of normally how we do of taking our energy capture rate from 100% to 75% and then waiting for it to recharge back to 100%. What we do is rent for one day, play it from 100% all the way to 50% instead, which is going to take 69 battles, and then from there, we can do our daily quest both days over that 24-hour period. After we do that, we just wait an entire day in between so that the capture rate goes from 50% somewhere back up to 100% before we try the 24-hour rental again. So in theory, we're only renting every other day, and hopefully by that way, we are earning more DEC. So in theory, it should make sense. We have tested it out. And I wanted to let you guys know that we are going to start testing these things out live. This was my testing Splinterlands rental strategy guide. This is the live stream. It took a whole 3 hours and I still didn't even finish it in that stream. But if you want to go watch the stream, that's where you'll see the specific cards I rented, the strategy that I played, and how it went for me. So if you want to go look at the strategy part of it, you can just go watch parts of that stream, maybe not the whole thing. And then of course you can come to the Google Sheets to see my results. The link should be in the description and comments below. All right, so let's look at the numbers, but before we do, two things to mention. One, Arnaldo pointed this out in the live stream to me first. Others of you have confirmed this as well. Initially people were worried, and I was worried, well, if you only play every other day, then you're missing out on your daily quest by only doing this rental strategy. Well, you guys pointed out to me, you can actually start a quest and play one match. And as you play one match, this will set a 23-hour timer for it to give you a new quest. So what you can do is you can play one match, start that 23-hour timer, and then the next day, in let's say within 22 hours, you finish that quest. Then after an hour, when that 23-hour timer ends, you'll have your next daily quest. So you can essentially do 2 daily quests back to back. And what that allows you to do is use your one-day rental strategy and still get both daily quests. So if you're playing in Silver 3, you'd still get over 2 days your 4 daily quest chests. So this video isn't actually going to be, what's more valuable, DEC or the extra loot chest, because you're going to get the same amount of loot chests if you're using that strategy anyways. Another thing to note is I started with a 1015 rating because this was my alt account. So you're going to see some of the DEC earnings are lower than when I did my other rental strategy, which was closer to more 10 DEC earned per match. So you can see in the half price rental sheet, every time I got a win, I would put a 1, and then I would show you guys how much DEC I earned from that battle. Going through all 69 battles, which took some time, we'll talk about that in a second, we were able to get 37 wins in Silver 3, and we were able to get 282 DEC net. So that's not minus the rentals, which was an average of 7.6 DEC a win. Again, a little bit lower because I was not starting with a higher rating. After 69 battles, we were able to drain our energy capture rate down to 50, and actually was slightly a little bit higher than that because it took us so long to play these battles. It was probably more like 52 by the time I ended. Again, you can go watch the live stream. The link is in the Google Sheet to see which cards I rented. But here's what I'm recommending to do right now is that you just get the summoners Ulster, Bloom, and Delwyn. Those are some great summoners to have in your arsenal. Then the neutrals, Ooze, Goblin Mech, Gelatinous Cube, Sandworm, and Rusty Android. Then all I was doing was going to peak monsters, randomly trying to pick the best CP ratios for epic, rare, and legendaries, and then I filled out the rest with golds with a good CP to DEC per day ratio. Sadly, with the way the rental market is so crazy, I feel like it's better just to click on legendary, epics, and rare and try to get as many as you can here at the top with the best DEC over day CP ratios rather than specifically looking for cards that you want to play with. Of course, you can still go to my cheap silver rentals tab and look through the different ones that I rented in that video, and you can apply the same strategy. You're just probably going to spend a little more DEC in renting than you would just looking for the best deals on those legendaries, epics, and rares. Based on this strategy, I was able to get a 53% win rate, so not as good as the 64% that I did in my silver renting guide, but still high enough to make some profit. And, one could argue maybe if I rented more expensive cards, I could have won more. But at the same time, everyone is trying to get into silver. So I think it's also at the same time becoming more and more competitive to play in that silver 3 league right now. It is tougher to win than it maybe was, a few weeks ago. However, we were able with this strategy, as I said, to get 282 DEC. We spent 51.95 in rentals using this strategy of just trying to find what's cheapest on the market and then grabbing those summoners and neutrals that I wanted, which means we still came out with a profit of 230 DEC using this strategy. So those of you who are saying silver isn't profitable, well, it actually is. You just have to be good enough to get a win rate that makes it worth it to play into silver. So that's my recommendation. If you can keep getting better at the game, renting into silver, even with this crazy rental market, is still worth it right now. However, keep in mind that we're gonna have to skip one day in between playing. So really per day in this strategy was 115 DEC if you spread it out across those 2 days, even though we were only playing within one 24-hour rental. If, however, we could have boosted our win rate like we did, we got the 64% win rate in the cheap silver rental guides, that would net us a total of 335 DEC, meaning a 283 profit and a per day earning of 140. But again, that's if you're winning closer to 2/3 of your matches rather than closer to half. I also decided to factor in how much time does it take to rent enough rentals from us to go, I think I started at 200 power to 1500 power. Surprisingly, it only took 8 minutes, even with the crazy rental market. Towards the end of the season, it's probably going to be harder because more and more people are trying to rent. But using this strategy, your rentals are going to end after every 24-hour period. So every time you want to go rent, expect to take 5 to 10 minutes, maybe near the end of the season, to find good deals. Could be 15 to 20 minutes of your day renting to get to silver. Time to play took 3.5 hours to get through 69 matches. To be fair though, I was streaming while doing it, so at some points I was chatting and looking at different things, so you could argue, maybe it should be less than that. But even if you think about 69 matches, 2 minutes on average for those matches is still well over 2 hours. So it is a lot of time to play this, but is it more time than using our other strategy? Let's check that out as well. So in our cheap silver rental guide, when we took our 100 capture rate down to 75, that was 28 battles worth. So you could argue, well, that's way less than 69, but you have to also think through, this is playing the account every single day, as opposed to playing 69 matches in a 24-hour period and then waiting a day. So really, 28 times 2, that's going to be 56 matches as opposed to 69 matches. So with the 13 extra matches over 2 days, plus the time you're going to have to do to renew all your rentals each time to get into silver, I'm going to estimate probably about 30 to 45 minutes of gameplay, maybe somewhere between 20 and 25 minutes a day extra for each of your accounts that you're playing. So for me, this is actually a con because my time is valuable, and now that I'm going to work again, I don't have as much time as I would like to play these accounts, especially if I have, 3 or 4 alt accounts. An extra 20 to 25 minutes a day for each account, that could be an extra hour to 2 hours of my life that for me maybe is just not worth it, and maybe for you guys it's not worth it. However, the pros are, of course, you're going to be making more DEC. For some of you, that might be worth it. To me, 25 to 50 cents extra worth of DEC each day isn't really worth it compared to my time. But for some of you guys, maybe you have a lots of time right now and you want to invest it all into this game. Or maybe, 50 cents in some countries goes a lot further than it does for me. So maybe for some of you guys that are trying to play this game to make an actual living in these countries where that's meaningful, that could be worth it to you to implement the strategy. You can see that I wrote here, compared to my silver rental guide video, if we use the same win rate, if we use the same average DEC per battle, then that other video I made goes down to actually about 90 to 100 DEC a day. So depending on our win rate, this means that using this half price rental strategy doesn't give us double the amount of DEC. It actually gives us, as I said earlier, somewhere more around probably 20 to 50 DEC. Of course, all those numbers are speculation. This is a small sample size, so your results may be different. But I'm gonna say if you're using the strategy, expect at most somewhere around an extra 50 DEC per day. So to conclude this video, essentially what is more valuable to you? Is it, potentially an extra 50 cents worth of DEC a day? Or is it the gameplay time? Do you value your time more than that and you would rather just, rent for the entire season and say, hey, I don't have to spend any more time to get new rentals unless one card cancels on me, and I'm just gonna play, from 100% to 75% each day and call it good. That decision, of course, is really yours, but hopefully these numbers help you make that decision. And in my opinion, either decision really isn't wrong. It's all based on what you want to do. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed those numbers and I hope it was helpful to you guys to make these decisions. Again, thank you guys so much for the love and support that you guys have put into the comments, the live streams, and these videos. It's insane to see it happen and I'm enjoying it. So thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Next up, hopefully soon we get to test out going into Silver 2, Silver 1, and Gold 3 to see if we can actually pull it off. But until then, I'll see you guys in other videos and live streams. Have a great day.